Hey YouTube, your boy Davey J is back with a new video. I'm kind of excited about this video because it's a little bit of a departure from some of my past videos. Usually I'm trying to do more like vlogging and travel vids, but today I want to talk specifically about one thing that's really important to me, which is my kids, but more importantly, why we are choosing to homeschool. So the backstory for homeschooling for us is an interesting one. I think homeschooling in general is a very mysterious thing to those of us who are mainstreamed. That's what you say in like the homeschooling community, mainstreamed. I went to a mainstream public school. My wife went to a mainstream public school. I was in public school my entire life from K through 12. So when the idea of homeschooling came up for us, I didn't even know what to think about it. I was very apprehensive, but the circumstances around why we ended up homeschooling were completely out of our control. So flashback to when our baby boy Parker was about 6 months old. He's a baby, my wife is about to get off of maternity leave, and the oldest, Ellington, brought home RSV from daycare. So RSV, if you don't know, is like bronchitis for little kids. And it's really rough for them physically. Basically a lot of hacking, a lot of coughing, getting the mucus up, a lot of drainage, it's crazy. That's for a 2-year-old, but for like a 6-month-old, their lungs aren't even strong enough to get all the mucus up. So we noticed over the course of a few days that he was just kind of seeming lethargic. He didn't really want to eat. His breathing was really labored. And when we finally took him into the hospital, they held him for a few days because they had to constantly drain him. They were giving him all kinds of antibiotics. It was really intense and very scary. But thank God he was fine. And they discharged him and everything was great. However, a few weeks later, Ellington brings RSV home again, which was probably a worst case scenario because of course, if you've had kids or you've been around little kids, you can't keep a toddler away from their little brother or little sister. You can't. I mean, you can separate them as much as you want to, but things are gonna touch. They're gonna cross-pollinate their germs and all that nonsense or whatever. And so Parker ended up with RSV again. This time when Kareem took him to the hospital immediately called an ambulance to take them both to another different hospital where there was a much bigger NICU, neonatal intensive care unit, right? Because that's just how serious it was for him to catch it again. Basically, his body was way too weak. Kareem calls me, I get in the car for my job. It was only about like a 10-15 minute drive. I rush in, and as soon as I walk into the hospital and up to the room, it was like a crazy scene out of Grey's Anatomy. I kid you not, there were probably like 8 or 9, maybe 10 doctors and nurses all like swarming all around him, getting him hooked up, giving him fluids, getting IVs everywhere. It was scary. And to top it all off, they ended up putting him into a medically induced coma for 20 days. Yeah, that was scary. Like, I still get a little bit emotional about it because it was intense. I'll throw some pictures up too so you can see just what I'm talking about. So to go from like this bubbly, exciting, laughing little kid to being in a coma for weeks, yeah, it was tough for all of us. And luckily we had great community and we had great support and we had amazing doctors and amazing teams, but the long and short of it was just that's the only way that he could get better. And we basically ended up missing a Christmas trip that we were planning to Disney World. We ended up taking that again later the next year. But yeah, it was scary and it was just a crazy experience. So fast forward to getting discharged. He's feeling better, everybody's feeling better. The doctors looked us plain in the face and said, if he gets RSV again, he probably won't survive. And that was a no-brainer for us as parents. Again, Kareen was just a few weeks away from going back to work off of maternity leave. I was working full-time. Ellington was in daycare. So we had to make some pretty significant life changes to accommodate this life change. They said, Parker will not survive, he catches it again. So we recommend to you that if you're able to, you pull him out of school. And we were like, oh, okay. Sure, that's what we got to do. And that's exactly what we did. I mean, we ended up putting Ellington back in daycare very shortly, but this was like a few months later. But ultimately, we realized that based on our lifestyle, based on the goals that we want to accomplish as a family, based on the things that we want to do, like travel and explore the world and have the flexibility of being able to get up and go for family emergencies, for just fun weekends, all those things, we were like, maybe this will work for us. And thought that was a bug. We thought maybe this might work for us. And it's crazy because it has. And again, as somebody who grew up mainstreamed, I was really, really hesitant in the beginning because unfortunately homeschooling families and homeschooling kids have a real stigma out there. And I think it's really just because it seems like it all happens behind closed doors. But it just all depends on how you choose to parent and how you choose to homeschool. So Kareen has been an incredible homeschooling mom so far. They're out and about almost every single day of the week. She's found these amazing homeschool co-ops. Basically, other homeschooling families get together and teach and experience and learn together. That's where they get to like socialize and play. My boys love hanging out with and making new friends. They love spending time with the friends they already have. So it's not this down in the basement, locked away like Brendan Fraser in Blast from the Past. Which is what I thought it was. That's immediately what I thought. I thought he was gonna be like, my boys are gonna become socially awkward and they're not gonna know how to like deal with people, but it all comes from intentional parenting. It all comes from what you choose to give to your children. It's all about what you choose to expose them to, and we have chosen to expose them to everything. So even like right now as I speak, as I'm recording this video, Kareen and the boys are at the Los Angeles Science Center, and they're probably learning all kinds of amazing things, and it's all experiential. So I feel like it's gonna stick with them, and they get home and they're excited about it. Ellington is starting to really get into the homeschool system here in California. So they've given us a ton of resources. He's got his own computer now, so he's learning everything that he can on ABC Mouse, and he gets very excited about this dedicated machine for his learning. And of course, Parker's gonna be right behind him. So homeschooling's been incredible for us. And if it's something that you are considering, do your research. Reach out to families like us. Talk to us about it. Go online. Find out what the homeschooling communities are like around you, because you may be surprised that there's a lot more going on than you realize. I mean, I can only imagine like the next time you're out and about on a weekday and you see a mom and her kids, or a dad and her kids, or a family and their kids out and about, they're probably not playing hooky. There's a very good chance that's a homeschooling family who are just choosing to do the same thing you would do on your day off, but they're doing that as like an everyday adventure. So anyway, that's my 2 cents on homeschooling. We're loving it. I think we're very close to fully committing to it. I'm sure I'll have more updates in the future. Like and subscribe if you're still around to listen to the end of the video. I certainly appreciate it. We're getting ready to head off to the Midwest very shortly in the next few days, and I'm probably gonna start spamming y'all with all kinds of awesome videos with my brand new Osmo Pocket from DJI. Oh, I'm so excited about this thing. Shoots 4K, it's a stabilizer, it plugs right into your phone. It's so great. Hello. Yeah, it's so great. I'm super excited about this. So stay tuned for that, and happy holidays if you don't see me on YouTube before then, which you will, of course, because you just liked and subscribed, right? Bye.